What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody had an excellent weekend. Tons of playoff football on, game on tonight, so it's a lot of fun to watch. But as longtime fans, I'm just annoyed, man. The Jets blew a tremendous opportunity to, make the playoffs and make a run. They didn't do it, and now it's all the what ifs, could haves, and should haves. Then you see things on social media, man, where it's like the Jets tweet out, 54 years ago we won the Super Bowl, kind of reminding us how inept this organization was. Then you have, 12 years ago, the Jets beat the Patriots in the playoffs, kind of reminding you how long it's been since the Jets been back to the playoffs. Then you see Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence do good things, and fans are saying, we should have hired Doug Peterson. Meanwhile, when he was a candidate for the Jets, he was a retread coach and nobody wanted. The Trevor Lawrence thing is just annoying because, that's the Jets couldn't tank properly, and Zach Wilson's been he's a reclamation project now. He's going backwards. So it's a frustrating time, and you look at all the different stories out there in the NFL. I mean, if I'm the Chargers, I'd fire their coach. I think he's completely incompetent. And if I was Sean Payton, I would go there. And Sean Payton brought up some interesting things today in his conversation that kind of applies to the Jets as well. As a coaching candidate, what are the two things you look at? And for him, Payton, he would look at ownership and the quarterback and the opportunity. So, the Jets, as they look for a coordinator, ownership, whatever, a coach on the hot seat, and the quarterback's an unknown because it's not going to be Zach Wilson. It's going to be somebody else. So it's going to be fascinating to see how the Jets handle this. In terms of content, I'm not going to make all kinds of videos breaking down the candidates because I don't know them all that well. And to research it and provide the same kind of content and regurgitate the same things is kind of boring. So I'll just share my insight on a couple of the candidates that are being named the most. I think the most prominent thing is that you want a coach that has been there, done that in terms of play calling. I want an experienced guy that's called plays in the NFL. I don't want a quarterback coach that's going to learn it. I don't want to do any of this. And I think the frustration is when you watch Brian Daboll, work with Daniel Jones and the Giants offense, or even Peterson with Lawrence, it's like you wish the Jets would have did things differently. They hired Robert Saleh as the CEO of the team. He brought in the offensive staff, and it didn't work out with the quarterback. But it's just like Saleh's not a part of that. He's a defensive-minded guy. So I understand the unfortunate passing of Greg Knapp and all that, but let's not forget, Saleh had this year, too, to make changes, and he didn't. There was no veteran guy on the staff. It was almost like an arrogant move, like, we have the right staff here, we can do it, and for whatever reason, didn't work out. Whether Zach sucks, the coaching didn't work, or a combination of both, but now the Jets are back in the market. So if you want to bring in a coordinator, I want a guy that's excellent play design, can mentor a quarterback, can help out with time management, game management, all that, and be an excellent resource for Saleh. Now, the one name that was mentioned a lot today is Todd Monken, who was actually a head coaching candidate a few years ago. And there's a couple thoughts about him. Is first and foremost, he has a perfect job with Georgia, University of Georgia. He's making $2 million a year, prime-time job. He's a very lucrative job. So first, if you're the Jets, you got to offer him more money, you got to offer him opportunity, and you got to probably make him assistant head coach. You got to give him some power. You got to give him some kind of incentive to come here. So, and then it's like, what quarterback is he working with, and is there stability? And I don't think the Jets, are you going to leave the University of Georgia and do that? I know you want to come back to the NFL, but is the Jets the job you're going to take? Coach on the hot seat with an unknown quarterback? They could sell you their vision, but if they want to hire him within the next, 10 days? That quarterback's not the vision yet. There's no guarantees with that. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen. Darrell Bevell's a guy that's mentioned a lot, which the resume fits, where extensive background in play calling, being offensive coordinator. A lot of these other guys that I mentioned in the coaching search don't really inspire you because they haven't done it before. The unknown, that to me is just a tough sell. I don't want to see a guy that doesn't know what he's doing and learning on the job like we've seen the last 2 years with a team that's built to win now. So how do they handle it? And the other question is, when you look at the coordinator, when you're trying to sell the quarterback, who's the quarterback going to be? Because the timeline is going to be interesting for the Jets, and it depends how aggressive they're going to be. I mean, are they going to trade for Derek Carr, or do they wait for him to try to trade for him, or are they going to wait for him to be released? And then if you wait for him to be released and say, you know what, we're going to hang on and go after Lamar Jackson, I think that the release date is what? I think the Super Bowl is the 12th? So you say the 15th is a deadline for Derek Carr. I got the dates a little bit wrong. But then you have, the whole, franchise tag thing doesn't end until March 7th if it gets played out. So if the Jets pass on Derek Carr to say, you know what, we're all in on Lamar Jackson, whether he gets franchise tag, an exclusive right or non-exclusive tag, whatever it is. Say you're all in on Lamar Jackson, and he goes to the Atlanta Falcons, which is the big story today, then what? What's your plan B if you don't get him? Derek Carr will probably be gone by then. Lamar Jackson's gone. And then you're at plan C, plan D, which could be Tannehill or Minshew or God knows who. Or do they say, you know what? Let's go with the guy first, go all in on Derek Carr, and then if you don't get him, then your plan B could be Lamar Jackson. Like I'm fascinated to see how this plays out and see how the Jets approach this. Who they're really, and do they want to give up draft resources to do this? It's gonna be fascinating, man. I like Derek Carr, and I know all the scuttlebutt where it's like, well, he doesn't play well in cold weather and all this other nonsense. Let's be honest, man. He'd be the best quarterback the Jets have had in a decade, if not longer. He's a very good player. You're not going to get the perfect quarterback. Like in this situation, it's always going to be issues. Derek Carr doesn't win in cold weather. Lamar Jackson, if you get him, not exactly a passing quarterback. So you better have an excellent coordinator that can cater to his skill set and maximize all his talents. So it's just crazy, man. I hate that we're here again. That's why I'm kind of frustrated with content. Like there's nothing really to say. Like I'm just annoyed by it all. So we'll see what happens. Never a dull moment with this team, and I'll talk to you later.